What's up, family? How you doing? Okay, so I'm over here trying to get these locks in order while y'all come on through and say hi to your girl. We're gonna talk about the U.S. Census because clearly, as many of you guys know or don't know for some, that tomorrow is the last day to fill out for the U.S. Census. Now, let me make this very clear that this video ain't gonna be for everybody. And I'm okay with that. Y'all just gotta be okay with that. For the people that want to be angry all day, the people that just want to be negative and mad all day, this video is not gonna be for you. I'm just letting you know right now that if you are one of those people that like to be angry all the time and you want sensationalized videos to make you angry all the time, and you want videos that's gonna talk about, you know, why we shouldn't fill out the census and why we shouldn't worry about COVID-19 and why we should. This ain't gonna be one of those videos. I'm just telling you right now. Hope you ain't disappointed. You can stay if you want to stay, but if you're looking to be angry, this ain't gonna be one of the videos for you. Just giving you the heads up. For everybody else, I hope you guys do take something away from this video. So while we on it, people, just go ahead now, share this video because it's going to be informative. I'm going to give you guys some teaching, and as always, y'all can look up some stuff on your own. But we have to really take this seriously in terms of the U.S. Census. Tomorrow is the deadline. Tomorrow is the last day. So let me ask my sisters and brothers out there, how many of y'all did the U.S. Census? How many of y'all filled it out? Tell the truth. Don't lie. Don't lie. Tell the truth. How many of you guys filled out the U.S. Census, right? And how many of you guys know why it's imperative while you fill out those census? And how many of you guys don't know much about the census? And how many of you guys just don't care about the census? Let's just be honest. Somebody said, I did not. Thank you for your honesty, Joanne. Gwendolyn said she did it online. Mr. Pirate Brain said, not me. Gregory said, nope. Sandra Lee, B1 ADOS, us two tangibles. First Dumb said, I did great. Mary E said, I filled it out when I first received the notice in the mail. Awesome. Somebody, Brown Sugar, Brown Sugar. Remember that song, Brown Sugar, baby? I get high up, Okay. Anyway, Brown Sugar says she did it online. Joanne is asking what's the importance. We're going to get to the importance. Somebody else is saying I didn't. Ebony is saying, I did and do know about the economic impact on us. Thank you so much. Yes, the Brown Sugar laughing. Somebody else said, I did it online. Thank you, Mike Camp. Let me just go ahead and share this video with my Facebook family so they can know I'm on, because I've been neglecting them recently. But we're going to talk about the census. Just y'all bear with me for a moment. Venus said this so in 2010. Surprisingly, I haven't gotten around to it just yet. Well, tomorrow is the last day. So we have to be mindful of that. I'm going to go on right now and share this video with my Facebook family because that's important for me to let them know that I'm on here, because usually I'm on both and I'm just not doing both tonight because I'm just tired. I've been cooking all damn day. Believe it or not, people, I do cook. I do cook and I can throw down. I just don't like to cook. I'm always honest. Some people like, oh, she's a feminist. No, I'm not. Save your life. Save your life. If you don't want to jump off the curb, I am not a feminist. I just don't like to cook all the time. I'm just being honest with you. But when I throw down, my family is satisfied because I'm just one of those people where I know how to get it popping when I get it popping. And this quarantine got me home cooking like I'm Betty homemade because I'm bored out of my damn mind. I know some people in this household like, ooh, keep her home, keep her bored so she can stay home. Bored out of my damn mind. Lord Jesus. I've been having all types of interesting meals up in here and no leftovers. No damn leftovers. My bougie ass kids don't eat no leftovers. I don't know why they don't eat leftovers. My bougie ass kids would just look at it like, no, you just put it in the refrigerator and I go in the refrigerator a week later and the same stuff be in there. It disappoints me, my wasteful kids. That's why I feel like starving them to death sometimes. But anyway, we're going to talk about the census. Let me tell you something. This is a serious issue because I just read an article, family, that says so far the census is basically one big failure for 2020. And that is not good for those of us who identify as part of the African diaspora living in America. It is not good. I'm trying to get y'all a quote from this article I'm reading. All right, to let y'all know, if I'm not mistaken, how many people filled it out. If I'm not mistaken, I think the article said 21%. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, no, that's 29 in New York. But in total, let me see. This is it right here. So that's New York. In New York, 23.4% of households in the city have responded so far. Nationwide, 33.1% of the households has responded. 33 point. This is bad, people. This is bad. Let's go into the history of the census, because this is really bad. And you know, the reason why I decided to do this video today, let me be honest with y'all. So it's going to be kind of brutal, but we got to tell the truth. And this is my truth. This is my opinion. I'm recognizing that, and I hold that. And yes, Maurice, I did put ADOS in the box. You know, just, you know, I did write it in there. I sure did, Maurice. Except for my husband part of the box, I put Haitian because that's what he is. But and Maurice, I sure did. And all my kids got ADOS. I sure did. But nonetheless, why we have to have this conversation? Because, you know, I see a lot of stuff going on in our community. Let's just be frank. Can I be honest with y'all for a second? You know, don't start burning me at the cross. Well, I really don't care if you do, but I'm just going to be honest with how I see things. We get so caught up on nostalgic type of conversations, stuff that keep us centered on the distant past, stuff that keeps us centered there. And it's important to know your history. It's important to know where you're coming from so that you can understand where you're going without a doubt. It's important for you to be centered in your Blackness. It's important for you to have your culture that is yours, if you can find it. Let's just be honest, because so many of us, but anyway, that's another conversation. It's important for those things to go too, but it's also important for us to understand that as long as we are living in this world, and if we're not doing things independently to create our own world within a world, we have to know how to operate in this world. And unfortunately, we have so much information out there nowadays that people don't even take the time to really research and understand things. Let's just be honest. Majority of the people, let's just be honest, they sit down and they listen to personalities, especially if you are a charismatic person, especially if you have that personality that people can just jive with. We like to follow personalities that don't have to come with any history, no research, no facts. They're stuck in history times they ain't got nothing to do with us here. And then they complain and get pissed off at our situations right now, what we are experiencing. And they say, if only we could stick together, but we're not sticking together. So the truth is, since we are already separated, since we are already at each other's throats in many cases, since we are already divided, what can some of us do right now so that we can have some footing? What can some of us do? But we get so caught up on ish, you know, I can't curse my children here. So I'm trying to watch my mouth because y'all know I got a potty mouth. But we get so, okay, maybe I don't have a potty mouth. My mouth can be dirty sometimes. Maybe not a potty mouth, but it's dirty sometimes. We get so caught up on ish, they ain't got nothing to do with nothing. And we refuse to take heed. We refuse to listen to those of us who are giving you information that's going to help you right now in this world. Listen, those who've been following me for a long time. What's up, Nick? I finally see my brother on. What's up, Nick? Who said they didn't allow to put Miss Sandra Lee? What do you mean they didn't allow you to put ADOS? If you, baby, we did it online and we typed it right in there. We surely did, Miss Sandra Lee. Oh my Lord. But nonetheless, those of us, we get so caught up in being angry. We just angry. We're angry at being angry. We're always angry that we don't do the things that we need to do to get us what we need right now. And I get it. Ideally, in the ideal world, I want us all to operate together on the same page, moving uniformly. But is that happening right now where the 2020 census matters? Is that happening right now? Let's just be honest. We got to be all honest with ourselves. Don't worry about being honest with me. You can lie to me all you want. You can't lie to yourself. So let's just be honest. That's not happening right now. Everybody is at each other's throats. Everybody is not everybody. I know I'm being facetious, but there's a lot of people at each other's throats. There's a lot of shaming that goes on in our community. There's a lot of people who know that what they really want to do, but they're afraid to say they did it because they don't want to be shamed by all these crazy freaks out here that live in 1810 and who live in 1519 and who live in 1492 and who live in 690 AD. We got people who live in those eras and they don't know how to function and where we are right now, 2020. And we wonder why we got crap healthcare system. We wonder why our schools are crap. We wonder why our neighborhoods are crap. Our roads are crap. This is what the census is all about. Let's just be honest with each other. Let's just be honest with ourselves. This is what the census is all about. And let me tell you something. Even those people that want to hoo ha 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 and be angry, let me tell y'all something. Those people utilize the healthcare system. Those same people that will have you living in 690 AD are the same people who kids go to a public school system. The same people that will have you stuck in 1310 are the same people that's driving cars manufactured by everybody else but us. Right, are the same people that are watching television with stations that ain't owned by us, are the same people. Y'all get what I'm saying? We got to think critically here. We got to think Yes, Nick, absolutely, Nick Music. He says, laughing my ass off, the fantastical people who love avoiding the real work. Absolutely. We got to really think critical here. And that's what I like to do. I like to think critically here because the truth is, many of us are utilizing these subpar systems. Many of us who claim to not depend on the government, depend on the government. I'm so tired of fake people who have a personality, who have a following, and who lead people down their dumb road. I'm so sick and tired of those people because it is hurting us. It is hurting us. It's bringing so much divide and so much division without the research, without the stats, without the data. And we are stuck in the same situation over and over and over again, following personalities, but not knowing how to play in the chessboard that we are positioned on in this world. We're losing. We're pawns. And we're losing. Somebody said the pretenders. Absolutely. The pretenders. I'm so tired of the pretenders. We following people who wear masks. We're following people that have these channels with no faces, just voices. Like we're following people that can't even be verified, that can't be looked up. We're just following people that say they are who they are. We believe them because we're following personalities. And these people are leading you down a damn rabbit hole because of these magical thoughts. Magical thoughts. They tell you, and not that I disagree, because I 100% agree with you. Like my youngest child ain't in the school system. Just really isn't. Just ain't gonna happen. All right. So I 100% agree with them. And they're like, don't send your child to the school system. But the truth and the reality is that majority of us send our children into the school system. So you're listening to them. Let's just be critical in your thoughts for a moment. Think logically. You're listening to them, but you're not doing what they're telling you to do. So you are still sending your children to the public schools, but you're listening to them telling you to opt out of anything government. So you're not filling out the census or other information that's imperative for you to get the funding that you need. You're not filling it out, but meanwhile, you're sending your child to the public school that's failing, that doesn't have adequate resources, that doesn't have adequate staffing, that your child is coming out. And my children, I ain't being funny, I'm being real. My children at the age of 10 read better than your child who's in 11th grade. Like, I don't understand it. Something ain't adding up. Something ain't adding up. So we following people that's leading us down the rabbit hole. So let's get into the census. Somebody said, can we still fill it out? Yes, Gregory, go on. You should have gotten a letter in the mail if your address was correct and everything. If your address is registered, it doesn't come to your name. It comes to like resident. It would say resident. And so when you open it up, there's going to be a number for you. That's going to be an identifying number for the information that you are going to fill out on that census. And that's how it is counted. Because see, you got to know why the government is playing the games that they're playing. The government already knew that the 2020 census was going to be a flop because they did not put the right funding. They did not put the right resources. They did not even have the same street team out that they did in 2000 and that they did in 2010. They did not have the same street team out because they knew what they were doing. Because if you understand how the census worked, you will understand why this was a chess move and why they already predicted back in 2017, 3 years ago, that this census was going to fail. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. So let me say this. You got to understand that the census is a catalyst. That means a motivation of American public policy. When we are hooping and complaining and hollering about things that we want, it is so important for you to fill out the census so that they can get an accurate account of who's in that community, who's in that neighborhood, and if they are in fact going to listen to you. But who are the people who know this? Thank you, Venus. Venus said, just completed it. Thank you, Venus. Who are the people who know this? Let me tell you what prompted me to do this video. Now, I should have wrote down the lady's name, but I didn't. Who cares? But anyway, it was not because she's Middle Eastern. I'm not saying who cares because she's Middle Eastern, but I'm saying who cares about her name? The information that I have to share is what's important. She's part of the political arena. I don't know if she's legislation. I don't know if she's Congress. I don't know if she's a councilwoman. I don't know if she's an assemblywoman. I don't know what title she has. And somebody in the feed, y'all gonna just have to let me know who she is. But she's a Middle Eastern woman. And she has been fighting Congress for a long time to have Congress include on the census a category called MENA. Now, here's the thing. When I started to read it, I started to chuckle because I said, you know, Yvette Carnell and all the people in the Yvette camp are pushing for ADOS, and they have my support. Absolutely, without a doubt, 100%. No criticism, no any of that. I mean, I do have my criticisms, but it's not necessary for me to say them online because I'm in code. I'm on code. I'm online. I'm supporting them in their efforts. I'm just letting you know. Let's just be real talk. And the reason why I'm doing it because I'm listening to this woman who is some lady in a political arena. Somebody said, I just finished mine from last week. Yes, great. Yes. Is it Rashida Tlaib? Yes, I think that is her. But let me tell you what she said. She was pushing to get MENA, MENA, on the census. Now, I'm watching this woman debate with a white congressman, and I don't know his name because they all look the same to me. I'm not trying to be funny. Maybe just a little bit. Maybe just a little bit. They all look the same to me. He's a white old man. And he looked like he didn't want to hear a damn thing was coming out this lady's mouth. And she kept asking him the same question over and over and over again. It was a very powerful video. You got to watch it. And she kept saying, Congressman, do I look white to you? And he kept trying to avoid her question. He kept sideswiping her. He kept answering different things that had nothing to do with what she was talking about. And she kept saying, Congressman, do I look white to you? And she just kept saying it and saying it and saying until finally, I believe if I'm recalling correctly, she got him in a position for him to respond about her not appearing white to him. And so she says, but you have me checking the white box based off your category, and it's not fair because that is not how we look and that is not how we identify. So she was pushing to get MENA, which means Middle Eastern, Northern Africa, 2 words put together, Middle Eastern, which is one ethnicity, one set of different ethnic people that includes so many different countries, Middle Eastern, North Africa, which includes another cluster of people. And she wanted that on there because, like she knows, that is when they can identify you as a category of people who are residing in an area, and then you start making demands for policy changes and for funding to come to your community, you gotta first be recognized on that census. So she understood, and her community understands the importance of getting MENA on that census so they can start extracting dollars from the government to their community. Let me stop right there. Somebody says she's representative of Michigan. Okay, thank you, family. Thank you. Somebody says she's a congresswoman, Rashida Tlaib from Detroit. Okay, thank you, family. I appreciate that. Rashida Tlaib said about MENA added on the census. Thank you, family. See, that was important. See, for me, and I mean no disrespect, but for me, her name wasn't important. For me, her role wasn't important. For me, the position she plays wasn't important. For me, it wasn't important. For me, the strategy on the chessboard was important. Yes, I'm getting hot now. I got to take off my goddamn sweater because I'm so tired of the ignorance in our community. I can't stand it with a passion. Because this is what many of them do. Let me calm myself down. Y'all think it's a game. I'm not joking with you guys. I got to calm myself down because the ignorance, the amount of ignorance that I see. You know, I'm getting gray here. I got to give up on this work. I got to give up on this work. I'm getting gray damn hair. I'm only 22. So I sat back. So Verona saying, I've heard of MENA. Yes, a voice without action is just barking. You're absolutely right. So I sat back. I sat back and I said, wow, strategic, because it makes no sense constantly complaining if you're not going, like the brother said, if you're not going to take action, if you're not going to sit up there and demand what you need and want. But before you demand anything, you got to be recognized. You got to be recognized. If you are not recognized, you are invisible. Let me tell you something that the census does. First of all, the census shapes voting districts. Do you know what I mean when I say that? See, there's something called gerrymandering. Do you know what gerrymandering is? See, I hope y'all know because I don't want to go all down the rabbit's hole, but this is important. If you don't know, just write it down. Write down gerrymandering, look it up, inform yourself. But let me tell you something. The government plays this game with shaping or reshaping voting districts all the time so they can control the vote, so they can take over and they can determine who's going to win, who's going to lose. So they need to move people around so they can ensure that they get certain votes so that certain people or certain political party or certain whatever will win. See, when you got a whole bunch of invisible people, you can do whatever you want to do to them. And you're hooping and hollering and complaining. It ain't going to change nothing because you're invisible. There's no data that supports your existence. And I mean that not to be taken literally, but when it comes to the Constitution, see, the census is created and is stamped and is permanent in the Constitution. So the Constitution dictates that they have to take the census of the land every 10 years. And when you take the census, not only is it going to shape the districts, but it's going to determine where the funding goes. Who needs funding for the public schools? Who needs funding for the hospital? Who needs funding for the roads? Where should jobs be created? Where should businesses come to create jobs? This is the stuff that happens from the census. The data is extremely important for us If we're going to live in a democratic society, a democracy that is really governed with how the economy goes, and if your name, your number, your face, whatever, your ethnicity, your race, your sex, your religion, if that stuff is not counted, they're not worried about getting your community funding. You're invisible. See, this is not no kumbaya, I feel sorry for you, so let me give it to you type of country. It's not that. It's not that. It is who understands this game that we're playing and who is on the board positioned to play the game. Those are the people who gets the mic. Those are the people that gets the funding. Those are the people that gets the dollars, period. Right? That's what it's about. So when I saw this woman get up there and she was pushing for it, I said, yeah, I know exactly why she's doing. She's smart. She's smart. I see why she wants to extract her people from under the category of just being white, because that don't help her and her people. It don't help them. She's got to first get her people recognized. And she's not going to be recognized under the category as white. So when she's coming for your civil rights dollars, come on, somebody. That's right, Bob. Come on, somebody. Bob is saying right now we're not utilizing and making the data work for us. I'm telling y'all, when this woman, Rashida, got up there and she was fighting for that Mina, and it was going to go for it, and then it got knocked down. But when she was fighting for it, I said, ooh, yeah, she's playing a position on that chessboard, and it damn sure ain't a pawn. It damn sure ain't no pawn. I mean, it might be a bishop, it might be a knight, but it damn sure ain't no pawn. I'll tell you that much. She was moving on that chessboard. Yes, she was. Yes, she was. And I was proud of her. I was proud of what the sister was doing, because she understood was how she has to get her people recognized so that they can get the funding that they need, so they can get the grants that they need, so they can get communities backed by government dollars in order for them to progress forward as a nation. Right? She didn't have anybody in her ear saying, you know what, this is stupid. Don't participate in that. The government don't care. Don't do anything like that. Just, y'all keep on doing what you're doing. You don't need to be on census. She ain't have nobody in her ear saying that, because she understands, no, baby. Collectively, we need to be on it. Now, if you decide after we get on it individually, you want to do X, Y, and Z, that's fine for you. But don't speak for the millions of us that need it. Because what she's recognizing, and what many of them are recognizing, including the white old men that sit there with their faces and making decisions, they're careful with how they go about doing the census on purpose, because they know that the landscape of America as it relates to race and ethnicity is changing. And they understand that as long as that is changing and these categories get broader, money is going to be allocated to different people, and they don't want to do that. They don't want to do that. So it's a game that they're playing. And the fact that so many of us don't take it seriously, the fact that it's only 33% nationwide who has filled it out, the fact that our people don't even see the importance in filling it out because they don't know. Some people are just ignorant because they don't know. And I don't mean ignorant in a bad way. Some people are ignorant because they just lack the knowledge. They just don't know, whereas others are willfully ignorant. And they're leading sheeple to be willfully ignorant as well. So what else do we need to know about the data in the census? Now, let me tell you something. There was a guy named Robert Goldenkoff back in 2017. He said that the census was at risk of failure, and he knew it because Trump, when Trump was approached for the money, getting a budget in order for the 2020 census to go forward, and this is years ago, What he did was rely on the data from 2010 to determine the funding for 2020. And he didn't account for the changes in the landscape for 2020. He didn't account that families and households, and I'm separating these things on purpose. Listen to me, family. Families and households in America has just gotten very complex in comparison to 2010. So this is what I mean. Let's say you and I, we live together. We're not related. We just share a house together in the same house. You are renting a room from me, or I am renting a room from you, but that is about it. We don't have no blood relationship. We don't sleep with each other. We ain't got nothing in common. I'm your tenant, or you my tenant, and that's all it is. That is two households in one house. That is two households in one house. But if you're the owner and you get the census and you don't think to add me on there, I just didn't get counted. Or vice versa. If I get the census and I don't think to add you on it because you're renting a room from me, you just didn't get counted, because they're sending one form to one household. See, in 2020, we ain't living like we used to live. It is hard for so many of us. So let's just be honest, people, what's happening to our community. So many of us, we are living with other people because we cannot afford to live on our own. The rent is going up, but our paychecks is going down or staying the same. It ain't changing. It's not keeping up with inflation. It's not keeping up with what's happening to us in this economy. Everybody is getting greedy. Everybody's out to make a buck, and they're making a buck by taking a buck out of our pockets. So we are shacking up. We are rooming together. We are finding all creative ways to live. And guess what? If we don't have the knowledge of how the census works, we're not being counted totally. We're not being counted properly. And that population is being missed. And so in order to combat that, what the government should have done and what they needed to do was put the proper budget in place for 2020 so that they can hire the people that go out and knock on the doors to make sure that everyone in that household is accounted for. But have you noticed there has not been a big push like it was in 2020? And I also recall in 2010, if I'm not mistaken, it has not been a big push like it used to be in order to get people knocking on doors and getting that information. So you have to ask yourself, why? Thank you so much, WJ Luckett, for the donation. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. You got to ask yourself, why? Why wasn't it a big push to get the people out there? Why? So you got to understand that Congress knew what they were doing when they limited the budget. They knew what they were doing because the goal is to reshape the voting districts. That's the goal. That's the bottom line. That is the goal. Don't take my word for it. Look it up. Research it. Understand why this has been such a hot debate on the Congress floor. But see, if you don't watch C-SPAN and other boring channels, and ain't nobody talking about AKA fake news, CNN, no one is talking about that. If you don't watch C-SPAN and other channels that's dedicated just to this stuff, you're not going to really understand what is happening behind the scenes. Back in the days when the census used to come out, 2010, 2000, you get what I'm saying? 1990, when the census was out, they made a big deal out of it. There were commercials. There was advertisements on billboards. There were people knocking on the doors. There was places that you would go and there was pamphlets and information that would ask you if you was ready for the 2020 census. There were commercials. There were talk shows. There was so much going on. But has anyone realized the decrease in the notification that the 2020 census is now and is due tomorrow, April 1st, and why it is important for you to fill it out? Has anyone noticed that? Right? You know, that's important for us to realize that. I was reading some of the comments in the session. You know, we have to understand that not only is this a U.S. Constitution law, like it was written in the Constitution. See, I tell people all the time, they're never going to push for us to fill out the census. They're never going to make it. They already know that Black neighborhoods and other neighborhoods where so-called people of color reside, and I'm not being disrespectful, I'm just calling it how it is, neighborhoods that immigrants reside in, neighborhoods where poor people live. See, there is no mistake why they don't do what they're supposed to do to get those neighborhoods to fill out the census. There's no mistake. There's no mistake. There's no mistake why they don't send in a plethora of information into those communities to waken up their consciousness about the census, to educate them on the census. There's no mistake why they don't do that. There's no mistake why people are not educating the people in these communities about the census. That is not a mistake. It is by design. But I bet you in those communities, you can go all over the place and see HIV advertisements, right? HIV pamphlets and commercials to educate you on the drugs that are available for HIV, to let you know where the testing sites and they got mobile testing, they got private testing, they got so many things going on. They'll let you know all of that kind of stuff, but they ain't gonna let you know about no U.S. Census. Somebody said, plus people will come to your door if you didn't fill it out online. That was the past, but I'll tell you one thing. I don't think that's happening right now, because I know for a fact, based on the arguments that have been happening in Congress, where people who've been pushing to have more of the field people going out knocking on doors, there was no money for them. Trump did not put money aside for them to knock on those doors. So as long as we're not counted, as long as we are invisible, they're going to do as they please, as they always have been doing with us. So we got to wonder why. We got to wonder why this kind of stuff is happening and that it keeps happening to us. I don't know about you all, but I sit back and I know at least 2020, I filled out the census on my own with my own household. 2010, I filled out the census on my own with my own household. 2020, I filled out the census on my own household. But let me tell you something. I cannot recall, and maybe in your houses it was very different than what it is in mine, but I cannot recall anybody in my household educating me about the census. I could not recall my mother letting us know why it was important to do the census. I cannot recall anyone in my community making sure that we were doing the census. I don't know any community meetings that have happened. I don't know any little conversations that were happening with my parents and my friends' parents, or I don't know any of that. People walk around in my community when I was growing up like they in La La Land. But yet they bitch and complain about not having no resources, not having no money, not being recognized, feeling like their voice does not matter, it's not being heard. And here we are, at least 30 years later, from when I was able to do it on my own, 30 years later, and I'm still meeting people that don't have no damn idea about the census, and they refuse to look it up. See, it's one thing not to know because you don't have access to the information. That's one thing. But not to know because you're not even taking time to even educate yourself on it, that's willful ignorance. That's willful ignorance. You must rather listen to personalities. You must rather listen to false doctrine than you would to take your time on your own to gain an understanding why tomorrow's deadline is important. And that's really hurtful. It's really hurtful, it's disappointing, and it's sad. And even on it, I appreciate everyone else in this chat that's here, but even this video, I bet you any amount of money this video is not going to be viewed a lot. I bet you any amount of money, because ain't nobody want to hear about no damn census. But everybody want to complain. Ain't you tired of complaining year after year, generation after generation, decade after decade? Aren't you tired of complaining? You're absolutely right, Jackie Brown. Let me read to y'all what Jackie's saying. You better say it, girl. She said the largest Black organization is the church. They should have been informing the people, but they will give you a million reasons to put money in the basket. What a shame. What a shame. What a shame. And that is the truth. Jackie Brown, that is the truth. But when they have these tap dancing butter biscuit politicians, both local, state, and federal, coming through their neighborhoods to ask for their stage to preach to their women and to their, they don't care about the men, let's just be honest, but to preach to their women, they surely do turn over that mic. And see, that's another question we got to ask ourselves. Why? Here you are, Bible toting. In the Bible, they made sure they took the census. If you want to start, you know how some people, they use the Bible to back up anything they want to say. So if you want to back it up, because you're a Christian, we don't get involved with stuff like that. Use a damn lie. Because that's what the book of Numbers is all about. Use a damn lie. See, I can't stand willful ignorance. I can't. See, I'm not looking to be popular. I can care less about that. But we got to re-educate and retrain our thinking. Because it'd be nice. It'd be nice if we had our own nation. It'd be nice if we had a movement, how Marcus Garvey had the movement. It'd be nice if we was independent in that way, where we had hospital, we have movie theaters, we have cars, we have clothes, we have our own nurses, we have our own army, our military. It'd be nice if we had those things. But the reality is, in 2020, we ain't got it. Let's just be honest. The reality is, in 2020, we're not even in a position right now to even move that way, because so many people have internalized hate. Even that word, they don't even understand what the hell that is, because it makes them uncomfortable. But let's just be honest. Let's just speak in layman terms. There's so many people that still struggle with their darkness. There's so many people that still struggle with their kinky hair. There's so many people that still struggle with their broad lips or their broad nose. There's so many people that still struggle with their name that they don't find beautiful because society says it's not beautiful. There's so many people that struggle with their family who doesn't look like other families. And they're wearing masks all damn day, every day. There's so many people that struggle with that. And until we fix the mind, ain't nobody joining on board to be united. Because we are up against ourselves and we're up against the enemy. And it's tiring. It's tiring. Somebody says, if you did not receive your 2020 census in the mail, you can call this number for assistance. Get a pen and paper. The number that you can call if you did not receive a 2020 census in the mail is 844-330-2020. Again, that number is 844-330-2020. Call that number. Call that number. Things I want you to remember about the census. If you don't remember anything else while I get off this video. First of all, filling out that census is important because the census is about representation. That's the first thing. Representation. Somebody write that down there. The first thing is representation. You cannot be invisible. You got to be on the map. And just because you walk around the street and people can see you, don't mean that the government recognizes you when it comes to the money. You are invisible. The only thing you're going to be, baby, is a dollar sign for their pockets and nothing for yours. It's like, you remember that game we used to play when we were little kids? That's the game they play with us because we're not properly represented. And that's why Rashida Tlaib, when she was pushing for MENA, she needed representation. She knows the first step to their strategy, the first step of extracting funds from the government, the first step of making sure she get what she needs for her people and her people only, not the people of color, not kumbaya colorblind society, her people and her people only. She knew the first thing she needed was representation. Representation. The second thing the U.S. Census is about is redistricting. That is changing the districts. Oh, well, we don't have enough population over here to count those votes and those electoral votes. You know what? Let's move this district over there because those people don't vote no how. So we ain't got to worry about that. Leave them over there. And let's move this line, this imaginary line over here and count all those people. We're going to focus on those people to get those people to vote for what we want. And we're going to ignore those people over there because they don't care nothing anyway. They'd rather just play their music, smoke their weed, hang outside, be willfully ignorant. We ain't paying attention to those people. They ain't gonna vote no how. We're just gonna focus on these people over here. But we can't do that because the line said they weren't on the census. They don't exist. They're invisible. Change the line. That's right, Lion. Lion said that's the plan. That is the plan. That's how it works. I'm not making this stuff up. This is what the Constitution set out for the census. And that's what happens. And while we having our Rona party, y'all heard about that, right? Didn't I say that? Didn't I say that before this whole Corona thing took off to the third degree? Didn't I tell you guys in the video that knowing how some of our asses are, we're going to have a Rona party? Didn't I say that? Somebody in New Jersey got arrested for throwing a Rona party. And unfortunately, it was one of us. That's right, A Joy. A Joy said, you sure did. I was making fun, and I said, but you know how we do. We turn around and make a party out of anything. And I was just saying, and I was being funny, but I was telling the truth. But that's what we doing now. While we over there having our little Rona party, they over there changing the district. Leave them ignorant mother freakers over there. Whew, Lord Jesus, they so damn ignorant. That's why we don't give them nothing. Who cares they getting shot up? Their kids can't read anyway. Ain't got to put no funding in their school. Whatever. Who cares that they got 50 kids in one classroom? They're not going to graduate anyway. This is exactly how they think about us. And the people that did their part, that happening to got caught up in that district because they couldn't afford to get out because the system economically has had their foot on our throats for so damn long. They get caught up with that buffoonery and that foolery, and they have no choice but to eat it because they are invisible. Because they are invisible. And then the third thing that the census dictates is money, funding. Write that down. Funding. That is the third thing. So you ain't got to give those fools over there any money because they're invisible. They ain't fill out the census. We are arguing, Black people, we need this, we need that, we ain't got this. Everybody taking our money, and they going through those numbers because you know what they say, if it ain't on paper, it didn't happen. They going through those numbers. Well, I don't see what they're talking about because it's not supported by the data. Knowing that only 33% of the people nationwide filled out the census so far, it ain't supported by the data. I don't know what they're talking about. I don't know what they're talking about. You know, the population ain't changing. What do you mean the population ain't changing? People need to be. I don't know what they're talking about because I don't see it in here. This is all a strategy. Meanwhile, no, that's a setup. Don't put your name on that paper. Government know where you are. They're gonna take you out and kill your whole family. It's a setup, y'all. It's a setup. I don't fill out nothing. I don't trust the government with nothing. Kill my whole family. Ain't nobody worrying about your one ass. You ain't got. telling you guys, not accurately counting us causes us to be ignored. It causes us to be invisible. And we got so many damn people. So many people. Everything is a setup. Y'all was on here even telling me that black people can't catch coronavirus. And I have lost somebody who is now deceased, and we can't even have a funeral from corona, who was 49 with no health complications whatsoever. I have 3 people on my feed. One has been infected herself. She did a beautiful live video today with her honesty and just sharing what she's going through. She doesn't know how she contracted it or faced it in that damn household all damn day. Some days she had to go out. I get it. I understand it. Some days I go out too. But this is a serious matter. But we got fools out here. Black people can't get it. And all the black people I know that got it, one has already died. One's father is on a ventilator in the ICU, and one was showing very few symptoms, no fever, very few symptoms. She just happened to say, let me go and get tested. And she came back positive. And what is so scary about our ignorance, not hers, because she's very smart and she knows what she's doing, but our ignorance, we think we're just fine. We're walking around infected, not worrying about other people that cannot withstand the virus. We're not worrying about other people's fathers, other people's mothers, grandmothers, aunties, cousins. We're not worrying about them. This woman that I'm talking about that went live, not only did her husband have a stroke, he was battling cancer. Come on, he's not in a condition to be able to be in a household with that. And now they got to be extra cautious. This is not a game. It's not a game. But we walking around, we false information everywhere. Only thing you have to do is drink hot tea and you ain't going to get it. And we pass around that information. Just drink hot tea. Just drink hot tea. You ain't going to get it. Just put some burdock root in that tea. You ain't going to get it. Don't fill out the census. I don't trust the government for nothing. But you got a job. You collect refund checks during tax time. You got a driver license. You got a cell phone that tracks your every move. You got Easy Pass in your car. You got internet in your apartment that tracks your every move. Like, people just... Let me tell you something. I end this by saying this, that, listen, we need a classification. We need a classification on that census. We do. We need our own classification. We cannot be in the same pot as everybody else. Just like Rashida Tlaib knew that she could not be in the same pot with everybody else. And that's why she was pushing for MENA, Middle Eastern, North Africa. The reason why she was pushing for that, because she knew that we could not be in the same pot as everybody else. We got to separate from that pot. Can't be there. Can't be there. If we're going to do what we need to do, we're going to move strategically. If we're going to get this funding that's out there, we're going to get those dollars that are out there for our kids to go to college. And we're going to get those dollars that's out there for our housing to be appropriated correctly, for us to have new housing and developments, for us to have our roads fixed so our children can go to quality schools. If we're going to be out there and get those dollars, we need to separate from these categories that don't serve us. We need our own categories so we get those dollars. So we need our own category, okay? Everybody else pushes for their category. Everybody else want to be identified. Let me tell you something. I don't recall anything about LGBTQ being on the census. I don't recall it. So I could be wrong. Maybe something is on there. But if it's not on there, let me tell you what's about to happen. You better believe it, because they be on everything. They be up on everything. They sit there. I don't think they even go to sleep. I think they have a committee that pushes their agenda and what they're going to get and what they're going to do and how they're going to get their funding. Don't be surprised if the next category you see on that census is LGBTQ. Do not be surprised 10 years later you're going to be like, you know what, Dr. Shonna said it back in the days. It's going to be on that category if it's not already there. If it's not already there, it's going to be on that category. I'm telling you, because they know, somebody said, right, we need to put ADOS on that census. They already know. They already know. They know that they cannot be invisible. They know they have to be categorized and they have to be counted. And then when they come through, they're going to come through dripping. Y'all know what I mean? They're going to come. They are not playing games. The only people that playing games is us. Us, we playing games, always arguing, always got a difference of opinion, always wilding out, always watching reality TV, always twerking, always doing. I mean, oh, Lord Jesus, it's just so damn. Okay, so Cassandra's saying, I was surprised it wasn't there now. Oh, Cassandra, it's coming, baby. Watch, Cassandra. It is coming. You better believe it. Yes, somebody said I spelled mine out. I spelled mine out too. I didn't need to have it. I spelled it out. But y'all better believe it. It is coming, baby. They're gonna have their category. I bet you this time around Mina didn't get it because they needed to not have it complicated because they need to redistrict things. They need a gerrymandering. They need to play with the votes. Y'all pushing for who y'all think is going to be the next president. Y'all might as well just go to sleep on that. Trump is going to be in that seat again. Go to sleep on that because they ain't playing games. They playing chess. See, oh Lord, I can't. But here's the chess move, and I'm out. Let me give y'all the chess move. I got 3 minutes, and I'm out. One love to you too, Clark. Love you, babe. Here's a chess move. First of all, the first chess move that they're making is undercounting Blacks and people of color. Now, whoever's in the people of color category, I don't know. You turn around, so many people be claiming they're people of color, and you be looking at them like, were you a person of color like 5 years ago, or did you become a person of color when being a person of color got hot? I don't get it. But, y'all know what I mean. Undercount Blacks and people of color. That's the first chess move. You do that intentionally. You do that with purpose, so that you can get what you want. You don't have to give y'all any money whatsoever, right? Do it on purpose. First chess move. The second one was gain political advantage by manipulating the district borders. So they're going to gain political advantage by manipulating the district borders. See, we so easily distracted. We turn around and we get anything the media put that on the TV, we be like, oh my gosh, Trump said that he wishes Black people wash their hands. His corner's dirty. I'm angry. Oh my gosh. Why y'all mad at Biden? Y'all ridiculous. Vote for Biden. Oh, we hate you kind of Black people. We're going to lose because you're going to vote for Trump. And I mean, we argue over anything. And then there's the rest of us saying, did you see what's on Love and Hip Hop last night? Did you see what's on Real Housewives? Oh, I can't stand them on Real Housewives. This is what we do. And meanwhile, while we playing these games, Rashida Tlaib and other populations are trying to figure out how to get their name on the census, how to do their next chess move so they can get what they want and need from the government. Everybody else knows this game but us. Everybody knows this game but us. Because we listening to the wrong damn people. Now let me make this clear, because I don't want people to misunderstand what I'm saying. Right? Yes, that's right, Miss Sandra. How to get the bag. Everybody else know how to get the bag but us. That's right. Let me use that term, Miss Sandra, because people, we know that. We know how to get the bag, right? We know that term. I don't know. We have all these Christians out here that say, oh, I'm just going to pray. Can y'all do something differently? I'm not saying not to pray, but can y'all do something differently? Because I'm not sure what y'all praying for. I'm not sure. And when I say what y'all praying for, I'm not saying not to pray, because I pray, but I'm not sure what exactly specifically you're praying for, because whatever you're specifically praying for ain't getting us what we need. So can we change that tempo? Can we put some logic and reasoning behind our prayers? Can we just pray for wisdom? Can we just pray for wisdom? I mean, and understanding. Can we just pray for just that? And hopefully you will hear the wisdom. I don't know. What's another chess move? Okay, y'all ready for this one? And I'm out. Under counting, ADOS or FBA, I'm not arguing and fighting over terms. I'm not arguing and fighting over ADOS. I'm not arguing and fighting over FBA because it's destructive. It's destructive. But my point is, undercounting ADOS or FBA is a form of political genocide. Undercounting us is a form of political genocide. All right? They have to know, those of us who are identifying as such. It is important for us to be on the map, because if we look, the numbers don't lie, people. The data don't lie. We just ain't got it. We just ain't got it. Everybody always want to point to, well, Jay-Z and Beyonce, but that's a lie. Because I follow a young girl on Instagram and she's a millionaire and ain't got no documentation, ain't got no proof. Just because she looked like she lived in a big house, you're just following this person and believing everything you. And the last chess move is, it is a legal way to cut adequate resources. It is a legal way to cut adequate resources. They don't have to give you nothing if you are invisible. I don't care how much you got your fancy big hat going, people with the big mic and the big mouth out there hooping and hollering, yelling and screaming about how it ain't right what they're doing to us, and black people always being mistreated, and black people's being this, and black children are being this, and black. Listen, you ain't put out those census. They don't care about you. They don't have to legally take care of you. They don't have to legally take care of you. You going to live off of whatever budget was already allocated to your community for all 5 of y'all that filled out the census. So the 100,000 of y'all that live in the neighborhood, and only 5,000 of y'all filled out the census. 95,000 of y'all just going to live off of the budget that was set for the 5,000 people who did. And I don't care how much you yell and scream and get angry, it don't matter. You're invisible. So I hope today. That's right, Trillian Basley said, oh, well, wait, let me see. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Wanda said we should be praying for wisdom, understanding, and discernment. Wanda, I'm with you. Real Eyes says we are not a part of the Constitution. That's why they have a leg to stand on. Real Eyes, you're going to have to tell me a little bit more exactly what you mean. I don't want to make any assumptions of what you're talking about. I think I know, but let me know. Rayo says, I'm not invisible. Me either, Rayo. Me and you are part of the 5,000 people that filled it out. The 95,000 people are going to be eating up the money that we filled out for, and we ain't going to get nothing. That's how it's going to happen, Rayo. Shoot. But anyway, let me just say this tonight, and I'm out. Fill out the census. All right. Like I said at the beginning of this video isn't going to be for everybody today. If you're one of those nostalgic people that like to be caught back in the days, and y'all want to be stuck back in time, and that's the only thing you talk about, and that's your argument for everything, and it doesn't just apply in 2020. If you're one of those people, this video isn't for you, and that's okay. That's cool. This video is for those of us who understand. And the last thing I gotta say is about the age of Aquarius. Here's the one thing I don't understand. We are in the age of Aquarius. And the only thing that people think about when they hear the age of Aquarius is the age of information. That is one of the only things that people think about. And they are absolutely right. Information is at your fingertips. You can get it, but you have to understand as an Aquarius woman, I understand Aquarius, right? If you don't know anything else, let me teach you something else about the age of Aquarius, okay? And those of you guys who are in Aquarius in the chat or have Aquarius rising or Aquarius moon, you're going to understand what I'm talking about. But let me say this. Yes, we bring information, right? But we also are very rebellious people. Aquarius is a rebellious sign. All right. So we are in the age of Aquarius. You just can't take the one good thing that it comes with about us and how we are fast with the information. We like to research. We like to put things into perspective. We're intellects. Yes, we are all those things, but we are some ruthless people as well when we want to be. When we want to be, we can sit back and watch you and observe you and then boom, tear up your whole damn household. And that's what's happening. We are also people who are restless, right? We like to keep it moving. We like to be in and out. So things are going to be changing very quickly for us in this age. Everything's going to be changing quickly. Information is going to be changing quickly. People are going to be moving quickly. People are going to be so distracted because many of us are distracted people. Many of us, we know how to start projects, get it going, and boom, move on to another one. And if you can't keep up with that, you're going to lose. So we just can't look at age of Aquarius being information. Oh, this is the age of Aquarius, is information over. This is our time. You got to look at everything else that come along with that, including our raft. Somebody said, yes, I'm telling y'all, including our raft. So you got to look at, study Aquarius. Don't just talk about age of Aquarius. Study Aquarius. Study Aquarius. Because when you start to piss us off or you ain't listening, you'll be the one left behind. You won't see us. We'll be gone. You break up tomorrow and be like, where's my friend? Peace. Detached, gone. It don't matter. See you next lifetime. See me walking down the street and I won't even look at you. Keep on moving. Keep on walking. I ain't talking to you anymore. And I won't lose any sleep. That's exactly what the age that we are in right now. You got to understand what I'm saying is things are going to just keep on moving and your feelings ain't going to matter. It ain't going to matter. Do what you got to do. Learn how to play this game. Fill out the damn census tonight. Go online. Fill it out. There is no excuse anymore for willful ignorance. Right? Somebody said, you ain't lying. My mother's an Aquarius. We don't play no game. Somebody said, age of implementation. You are absolutely right. Gilson says, yes, I'm an Aquarian. Teamwork all day long. Keep it moving. Absolutely. It's either you with it or without it. And that's how it's going to be in the age of Aquarius. It's either we moving together collectively or you getting left. And that's what it's about. There's those of us who are moving collectively. Everybody else, it don't matter. Thank us later. Thank us on the up and up. It's okay because we know what we're doing. We can see ahead before it even happens. We know what we're doing. So you want to argue and complain. We ain't got time for arguing, complaining, and all this other division, all this other stuff. Go ahead. If that makes you happy, go ahead and sit right there and see how far you go. Boom. While you arguing and complaining, I'm going to be 55 steps ahead of you. Because you want to fight over stupid stuff. Who ate the last cookie? You still fighting over fucking cookies? Make your own goddamn batch of cookies. What's your problem? Oh, God. All right. Somebody said, thanks for the info because I surely was not going to fill it out. Will do now. Please fill it out. Somebody said, I filled mine out already. Thank you so much. Nick is saying the term B1 is too broad. It won't allow us to get our specific claim from a justice claim or from the diaspora fall into that category. Yeah, black is too broad. You're absolutely right. We have to leave the hard-headed people alone. Absolutely, Miss Sandra. Leave them right there. A Joy is saying to the family, it was very easy to fill out online. Please go ahead and fill it out online. Let's bring that number up. Can we get that number from 33% nationwide? Can we get it up to 50%, please? Can we be the ones to get it up for 50% and just put $8 on there just for now? I mean, you ain't got to be mad about them. Like, well, I don't agree with that. That's so stupid. I don't. Listen, Rashida Tlaib and her people ain't arguing about whether Mina is a stupid word or not. Oh, that doesn't correctly identify me. Mina doesn't directly, because I'm not quite Middle Eastern and I'm not quite North African. I'm American. So it don't. She ain't worrying about any of that. Her people ain't worrying about any of that. Let's just get it on a census. We can argue and debate later. Let's just get it on a census. If you choose to check something else, you can do that. Let's just get it on the census. Let's just get it on the census. Let's just get it on applications. Let's just get it everywhere we need to get it at so that we can now have a voice, a legitimized voice. Let's just get it there. It don't hurt you nothing. You could say, well, I don't identify as ADOS, and that's okay. You ain't gotta check it. You can keep on checking black and fall in the pot of everybody else that don't really identify with you, but they will use black for that funding that you ain't going to get. You can go ahead. You can go ahead and keep on checking black, but just let us do what we do. That's it. Get out the way. Somebody said, under African American, I put FBA American, descendant of slavery, ADOS on my online fill out. I mean, that's good. We can put it on the census, but we also got to be in front of the congressman, just like Rashida Tlaib was. We got to be where it matters. We got to bring it to the floor. We got to bring it to the floor and be like, yo, put it on there. We got to bring it to where it matters. Somebody said, you are so gorgeous. Oh, thanks, Bill. Don't tell me that, because you know us Aquarius are natural flirts, but we'll never talk to you. We are terrible. I'm a hermit crab. I stay in my house. Whew. Anyway, Lord Jesus. Okay, I'm out. I love you guys. Share the video. If you have not already subscribed to this channel, subscribe to the channel. I know I'm a little tired, but don't mind my silliness. I get a little silly when I'm sleepy. Thank you for the donations, family. If you want to send me any donations, it's better to send it to the Cash App at $sign Dr. Shonna. It's better to send it to the Cash App because YouTube be taking our money, honeys. But anyway, I love you guys. Speak to you all soon. Hopefully tomorrow. If not, definitely Thursday. Peace and blessings.